Hey guys, Saki here from Saki Tech, and in today's video I want to talk about the newly announced HTC U phone. Now they announced two of these phones. There's an HTC U Ultra and an HTC U Play. These are two different phones. They belong to the same family, but they're actually much different than each other, and we are going to look at all the differences in this video as a quick overview so you guys get an idea of what's going on. So HTC U Ultra has the bigger screen, and it's a quad HD resolution. So the screen size is 5.7 inches, it's quad HD resolution, and it's the actual flagship HTC U version. Okay, HTC U Play is more like the cheaper version if you don't want the flagship version. It's going to be cheaper and it's going to be smaller. So the screen size is 5.2 inches on the HTC U Play, and the resolution actually is 1080p. Almost looks like the Google Pixel and the Pixel XL. Mentioning that also, the HTC U Ultra has a processor, a Snapdragon 821 processor, much like the Google Pixel XL, but the HTC U Play does not have the same kind of processor. Okay, it actually is an octa-core processor, and I'm gonna leave the name of the processor. I forgot the name of the processor right now, but I'm gonna put it on the screen somewhere here so you guys can go look it up. So the processors are different, the screen sizes are different, and the screen resolutions are different. So as you can see, the HTC U Ultra already is a much better phone. Additionally, the camera on the HTC U Ultra on the rear is 12 megapixels. Okay, on the HTC U Play, it's actually 16 megapixels. But don't let that fool you. Just because the Play has 16 and the Ultra has 12 doesn't mean the Play is better than the Ultra. The sensor is much better on the Ultra, so you're gonna get a better camera with the HTC U Ultra. On the front side, on both of these phones, you have a 16 megapixel front-facing camera. So that's one thing that's the same. But on the rear, you have 12 on the Ultra and 16 on the Play. But both of these cameras have optical image stabilization, and both of these phones have laser autofocus. Okay, so as you can see, these phones are quite different than each other so far. Of course, if you're looking to get the flagship from the HTC, you are going to have to get the HTC U Ultra. If you get the Play, you're not going to get anything special. All right, it's just I don't think it's a flagship phone at all, to be honest. There's phones in the market right now that might be better than the HTC U Play. Now the other thing that I'm looking at on both of these phones is the design language. Looks like it has changed. In the past, we have aluminum unibodies on the phones, and that was actually a signature of these phones. Now they're actually disregarding that, and they're going to give us glass panels like the S7 Edge and the S7 or the S6. So you have shiny glass on the front, shiny glass on the back, and it's going to be reflective, and it's going to be a fingerprint magnet, which is one thing I really liked about the HTC M10, because it's brushed aluminum. There's no fingerprints. Okay, it doesn't register any fingerprints anywhere on the phone. It looks clean and shiny at all times. But with the glass backs, you are going to get those smudges. And I haven't seen the phones in person, so I cannot tell you how it feels on the hand or how it actually looks. But I just have a feeling that I'm not going to be satisfied with the new design, because I prefer the aluminum over the glass. But anyway, we're going to skip that for now. We're going to talk about that when I get the phones in my hands and do a side-by-side comparison. And of course, the biggest thing that I didn't mention on purpose, just to save it for the last, is the HTC U Ultra has a second screen on the top, just like the LG V10. So there's a strip of a second screen on top of the display. It's a little display, and it just gives you relevant information, and it's supposed to be smart. They're calling this AI-based, artificial intelligence-based, which I don't know what that means. But basically, the second screen on the HTC Ultra is going to be better than what you're going to get on the LG V20, which was basically a little customizable screen onto which you can add your signature, you can have some apps, or you can show some notifications from your calendar or whatever. Apparently, the HTC U Ultra is going to be a little bit smarter. It's going to learn the way you use your phone and only give you information on the second screen that's going to be catered around your usage of the phone. Now, I wouldn't be too concerned about this second display because just like the LG V10, I'm sure you can, if you want to, you can just show what you want. So you don't have to go crazy and use the artificial intelligence and let it do all these things for you. You can just maybe just show a signature. You may be able to just show a quote, maybe just a bunch of apps. I'm sure it's going to be customizable. I'm sure you will be able to turn off things you do not need. So these are not that big of a deal. I think it's nice to have a secondary display. I hope there's an option to cut it off, like shut it off if you don't want it. And if you want it, you can customize it, okay? I haven't seen the phone or touched the phone yet, so I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm assuming that is the case. You know, these are Android phones, and especially these HTC phones, they give you a lot of options to tweak your phone and customize it and personalize it the way you like it. So the second screen does not exist on the HTC U Play. It's only on the HTC U Ultra. And that's basically all I want to talk about. So as you can see, the screen size is different. The camera, the rear camera is different. The screen resolution is different. The processors are different. And one more thing I forgot to mention, both phones have SD expansion slots. You can add up to 2 terabytes of extra storage on top of whatever internal storage you buy. Both phones have a USB Type-C connector, and these phones do not have headphone jacks. Alrighty, so the headphone jacks are gone. It's gonna piss some people off. Some people are not gonna care. I don't care personally, but I understand a lot of people have expensive headphones that they wish they could have used with these phones if they buy these phones. But remember, there's no headphone jack. And finally, one little spec that I forgot to mention. When you buy the HTC U Ultra, you have 2 options for internal storage. You can get a 64 gigabyte version with 4 gigabytes of RAM, or you can get a 128 gigabyte version. But in the 128 gigabyte version for the Ultra, you happen to get a sapphire crystal display on the front of the phone, as opposed to Gorilla Glass 5 on the 64 gigabyte model. Okay, so 4 gigs of RAM on the Ultra with 64 gigabytes of internal storage, or 4 gigabytes of RAM, 128 gigabytes of internal storage, and a sapphire front display. Now on the HTC U Play, it's a little bit different. You can get the HTC U Play with a 32 gigabytes of internal storage, but you only get 3 gigs of RAM. If you purchase a 64 gigabyte version for the HTC U Play, then you get 4 gigs of RAM. Okay, a little bit confusing. I wish it was just 4 gigs across the board, but that's just one thing to think about. So with the HTC U Ultra, no matter what you do, you get 4 gigabytes of RAM. But with the HTC U Play, if you get the 32 gigabyte version, it's 3 gigs. If you get the 64 gigabyte version, it's 4 gigabytes of RAM. Okay, so that basically wraps it up. And just so you guys know, you can go to their website right now and you can pre-order these phones and at htc.com, and it's even saying that the phone is going to start to ship around March. So pre-order today, tomorrow, whenever, but you'll get the phone in March sometime. If there's any other good details that get leaked, I will make another video, because you know, HTC phones are very important to me. I've been using them for a long time and I actually love these phones, and now they're getting a little changeover, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, thank you for watching this video, guys. Make sure you drop your comments, your thoughts below in the comments section. Give this video a thumbs up if you like the video, or a thumbs down if you hate this video. But make sure you subscribe to Saki Tech, and I will see you the next time. Have a fantastic day.